Alright, Red Yami. This is my favorite character in the game. I just love him so much. I think even later on, he works very well for certain PvE content, and he's really good to have, I think. The only problem is that he's a pickup banner, and yeah, he's worse than the future units, so I feel like many people might be turned off by that. But if we really do check Arena, like, he is a good part of Arena. Of course, I use him, and I am a rank 1 in the upper league, right? But if we go to the lower league, Red Yami, Red Yami, Red Yami, Red Yami, right? A bunch of Red Yamis, Blue Yamis too, and I feel like Red Yami's just really good. You saw him a lot more, I think, on KR at first. I feel like it was either Red Yami or the Blue Yami and Red Asta team, one of those two teams. But Red Yami, insane unit. He has an AoE skill 1, which at the moment is the only one in the game, but Riot is coming out soon, so he will not be alone. But let's explain what he does. So, he is a crit unit for the most part. He's got an AoE skill 1 that applies bleed if he lands a crit, which makes sense. And it was a buffed attack percent compared to KR on launch, so it makes him even a little bit better, alongside his combo with Jack. But Jack is Jack. So, skill 2, without the skill page, guaranteed stuns if there's a bleed, and since he puts bleed on everyone, if he crits everyone, he could choose who he wants to stun, and he does more damage against bosses. Now, if he has the skill page, he does 10% crit damage per extra 10% extra crit damage per DLT on an enemy. So if Yami does apply bleed, that's an extra 40% alone. And if you do put him with other types of DLTs like burn, that it could be up to 80%, which I think is just kind of wild how much damage this could do. Basically one tapping if you do get your crit. This attack is very good just to choose who you want to stun when you do apply the crit. And because he does basically, it's just you only need one crit, and he slashes once for people and he slashes again for people. So we have 8 times to crit. Right, so like 8 chances to crit with like pretty decent crit rate is going to be insane. Now his ult does apply crit rate increased by 18% for 2 turns and could apply bleed with one of the highest ultimate scalings in the game at the moment. I think it's as high as Asta's 190, so minus 40. No, it's the highest ult scaling in the game at the moment for a single attacker, unless I'm tripping. He is the highest. Yeah, him and Fuegoleon are the highest, which is very nice. Overall, pretty good unit. He also gets crit damage 15% on passive. I don't know if it counts towards this, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So that's an extra 15% you got to count there. And his Dupe passive is increased damage dealt when attacking a boss. Now, I do want to mention my Red Yami. I do have a lot of experience from him. Just on, let me see, on, where is it? That is not the right tab. But okay, let me show you guys. So I do have a lot of experience from him from KR. I have him fully max duped. I have his skill page duped twice, right? I also do have obviously the skin, the same skin. And this skin, by the way, you need to actually buy like $300 worth. It's the mileage thing. Not 300, I think it's a bit less. But anyway, Red Yami is a really good unit and used for both PvP and PvE. Later on, he's only going to be used for PvE Hall of Illusions later stages, which I think is just really clutch. You don't understand how nice it is to have a guaranteed stun, because you're basically going to get that crit, right? So let's actually talk about if you should dupe him out. Now, I didn't really go into his talents and stuff. So of course, he gets the crit damage. Not the crit damage. He gets the increased damage against bosses, which is perfect for the Hall of Illusions. But overall, I just wish it was a PvP passive, so that he could be like pretty much guaranteed a top slot. If it was crit rate or increased damage against just anyone, I would have been much happier. Now, as for his stats though, getting both attack and magic attack with penetration, and then later on accuracy is really good. The accuracy to me feels useless, but the penetration is very nice as it lets you penetrate some of their defense, and accuracy does basically let you do up to 30% more damage if I explain it simply. But getting both 375 attack and magic attack makes him to be very good. It's just his passive. So overall, should you dupe? Nah, I feel like better units to dupe would be this Red Asta, as Asta gets 6 speed total at the end, right? And his passive is also really good. So he gets 3 and 3, so 109 speed. So I feel like duping Red Yami is not needed, especially when you consider that he doesn't get too much, and the fact also that there's much better units to dupe out, like Red Asta or any future units. So I'd say that duping Red Yami is like overall a mistake. As long as like using your dupe stones on Red Yami is a mistake, but if you pull him, then obviously dupe him out. It's not bad, but I'm going to be rocking the 0 dupe Red Yami, and I should still be pretty fine. Now, as for skill pages, if we go to it, Now this is probably his main skill page, as he does get the crit damage per DLT, and if you do apply DLTs on everyone, if you do apply the AoE bleed, that's 40% extra crit damage, which is insane. Alongside, he gets 2.5% crit rate per time that an ally attacks, up to 12.5, or I think that's like 22.5. I think 22.5. Yeah. So this is honestly a really good one. But if you don't have this one does work pretty much the same, giving the 15% crit rate. I'm counting max dupe, and it's right away, so I think that this honestly it just works really well. Now this one I'd say you're gonna use if you build him with the crit rate gear. Now this one also soon is coming out, so I think you could slap this one on him, giving increased damage plus the crit rate is very good. Fauna's, and this one is just like good on every single DPS. It's always there as an option. It's the same scaling, 10% all attack to 20%, so you could always run these two, and this one is free to play if you don't have anything else. And finally, this one giving increased damage, and I'm gonna just show you the talents now, show what everything goes well with. So most of them, if it's the crit ones, you're going to be wanting these two, right? The crit and damage dealt ones, you're going to be wanting to run these two. For pretty much all the skill pages, you're going to run the crit damage and then the damage dealt one. But there's also the fact that you could run these two together, the attack and then the crit rate. But because it's at the start of a wave, it's not as useful in PvP unless I'm not understanding this correctly. But either way, having to like wait every time to get the crit rate buff when you already have that with Yami's main skill page isn't great. But I think that if you do run, like let's say not that, if you do run not the, no wait, if you do run these, I'd say that running the attack percent is much better. If you do run the attack percent skill page, or the all attack skill page, running attack percent is probably better. But overall, I'd say getting the damage dealt plus the crit damage is probably his best in slot for attack in my eyes. Then you've also got the defense plus the increased defense, which is definitely his best. And then you've got the damage res and also the extra SP when you have less than 2 SP. This is probably his best flourishing, especially because you get the crit damage here. So that's 10% here, right? You get 15% here. So right now, technically, my crit damage, unless I'm just tripping, would be at like 60, 85%. And then this increases it further. So Red Yami for that's very good. Now for his crit rate, I am missing, but that's mainly because of the gear. So I guess we could talk about his gear now. Yeah. So his gear, main sets, we're going to go to KR. We are on KR now. It looks pretty much the same, but let's talk about it. So this, if we switch the speed, is probably his best. So you would want attack, crit rate, and crit damage. I would say that for sure. This third slot, though, I'd say getting crit damage is good. Now for the crit rate, I'd say the crit rate, like this, I'm saying the speed is basically crit rate. You would want for the speed instead to be any damaging one. So penetration, you could do two-piece normal attack, right? You could do crit rate. Crit rate's also really good. I'd say that any of those are good. Speed 2 does work. Lifesteal on him is going to be very good. We don't have any LR versions. And of course, for right now, it doesn't really matter. But that's basically it. Now, as for the main stats, you're going to be wanting to get attack. Now, of course, I have magic, but this is just like an example. Obviously, this is not how I would run him, but I don't run him anymore, so I don't really have a set for him exactly. But you would be wanting mainly attack, as he does have more attack, and because of his best partner being William. William does increase only attack, but he increases it by 84%. So you want to make sure that William's buff scales the most with Red Yami by giving Red Yami an insane amount of attack. As for substats and stuff like that, you would of course want crit rate and accessories too, as we can see here. I'm getting 12% crit damage from that, and then I think a bit more on the side here, 0.66. Let's go. So right now over here on KR, it's a much nicer build where my crit rate will be up to 60% and crit damage over 100%. So that is going to be very nice. I think this is a pretty good build, honestly, but except for the main stats, you would want mainly all attack, right? So yeah, that's basically it. If you get attack percent on like this, if you get this this substat, you're winning. Like honestly, one of the best substats to get next to the crits, right? I think that is all really good. Now as for teams, there is one main team that I'd say that everyone should be running, and of course it's the one I'm running for PvP. This is the one you're gonna be running. You're gonna be running the Yami, William, Mars, and then Lotus combo. Now if you don't have Mars, you could easily run Charlotte instead, and it should work almost just as well, except for the fact that you won't get the taunts. She does lower attack, so this will be fine, and she applies the mark, which means that when Yami kills someone with a mark active, he gets an extra turn. So this one is more free to play in a way, because most people should have picked Lotus. You have Charlotte for free, you just have to get lucky with these two, but to be fair, I'm giving you the best builds, right? If you want to run Rhodes instead to tank, right? But I feel like William is a need if you're going to run him in PvP at least. By the way, 150k CC, huge. Now, if we're actually mentioning PVE, some of the best teams you can run, I have to do that later. Some of the best things you can run is definitely, it would be this. And then, I mean, after that, run Red Mimosa or like, honestly, probably this or like either her, or you could even run Rhodes since he is just a shielder. Like something like this would be great. This last slot is very just like open to anything, but Red Yami is definitely great for a mono PvE team, and he's going to be great later on for bosses. If you want to check out my Raya Hall of Illusions video, it should be in guides, the guides playlist. Now there is also the fact that Red Yami does have a combo with Jack, and if we do check it out, it is a pretty good combo. It's just that Jack is a pretty bad unit. But if we check it out, it has the highest AoE scaling in the game for a combo attack. Pretty sure it's higher than Raya and Licht's, but it's just that Jack isn't great. That's just the honest truth. But Jack himself, I'm going to try it out for a video now that I'm only fighting bots, is that it's an AoE for both of them, and he gives crit rate increase to both of them by 80%, and then Yami increases his damage if there is a bleed active, which they both apply bleeds, and does insane scalings of 55% for both. So 110 beginning scaling is quite insane. At the moment, it's going to be definitely the highest AoE scaling, especially when you count that it goes up to, wait, so 71, 79, 86 times 2, so I think it's like 172% AoE scaling if you get both of the combos to level 5. So I'd say that running both of them together could be fun, but I don't know if it's meta or like actually worth it, but it is a team to run. But I think that Yami really does need at least William. If you have William, for the most part, you should be chilling. But without William, I think that Red Yami is just not going to be able to shine as much, because Red Yami is a very non-defensive unit in my eyes. I feel like Red Yami does need this extra help from William, giving him the counter for the AoE counter, and also the fact that William gives the damage reduction. So we're going to showcase this team twice, and then that's going to be the end of the video. And let's do that right now. I guess I won't cut it off. I'm just going to continue going. And we've got 2 runs, so let's show it off. It's very hard to find good teams when I am basically fighting all bots, so we're just going to showcase as well as we can what I want to showcase. Now for this team, it's basically lowering attack, taunting, lowering speed, damage reduction, counter, and then increasing Yami's attack. So that's basically how it's working, plus also the incapacitate, making them take more damage. Even if Yami does get stunned, because of William's damage reduction that I apply on the ult, we're fine. Plus we have the debuff immunity for 1 turn, and since they attack quicker than us, we're going to be fine there. Plus we're going to be able to counter, so this whole team is basically just counter. I think so far my most damage I've done is like 130k, so it's really about build up. You make sure to ult with Lotus, right? Then he applies the incapacitate at the very least. Now if he doesn't stun much, oh okay, that's fine actually. Like look at that, like Yami did not even attack, and now 2 people are dead, right? And we basically, it's a free win. That's it. There's not much more to say. We win this. Red Yami's just the GOAT. Really loving this guy. Not much to say, especially with William. Let's see how much damage I could do against this guy. I want to see. So, oh, okay. So we're gonna taunt, or not taunt. We're just gonna do this. Okay. So I guess we can't do it against Lotus because his bleed's gonna be off. Unlucky. So yeah, we're gonna get the extra crit damage once, right? So that sucks, but this damage should be pretty nice if he does get the crits. He didn't get the crits, and he blocked. So 38k without any crits is very nice. We're going to try to see it on a green unit next time, which makes me get extra crit rate and also damage. So Red Yami's going to cook against that. So let's try that out. Hopefully we find a team with 2. I don't want, okay, well fine, we'll try this. I want to find a team with 2 green units so that we could test out his very sexy damage. Not against the tank. Okay, well, we'll just try to... Alright, this team should be... Okay, I just want to try to get, like, at least a 50-60k single target with Red Yami. but we'll see if that's even possible in this run. But yeah, I think Red Yami is just insane. I just really love the guy. So we're gonna play the long game, get the 2 turns over, or like the 2-turn stacking of getting incapacitate, buffing, and then making sure we don't take damage too. Just don't stun a crazy amount. Fuck, that's bad. Not really gonna lose, but it's just bad to like show you the damage, I guess. But whatever, we could live. So does this, what does this do? Extends the duration of effects. So oh, there's only a chance to. So yeah, we'll just put this on. That should be fine. Red Yami's back, but William is not. Okay, I mean, hey, we're gonna do this. We just want to keep Real alive for as long as we can. Let's try to ult. Why don't we just ult, right? We don't have any buffs except for the crit rate, but I just want to ult, see how much we do. 89k, went up, no crit, 89k. Oh my god, bro, Red Yami's insane. Like, even on KR, like, I would have been very impressed with, I would have been pretty impressed with that considering everything. Wow, no crit, 89k because he blocked. Plus no buffs active except for the crit rate buffs. So no extra damage done. Very impressive, I gotta say. Red Yami does, he cooks. So yeah, that's Red Yami. Very cool unit. I love the guy, absolutely a GOAT. So I will see you guys. Ask me any questions if you got some, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.